Right now, while you're watching this, someone just booked a 7-night cruise for $99 per night. Another traveler, booking the exact same ship, same cabin category, same sailing date, just paid $600 per night. Same ocean views, same buffet, same entertainment. The only difference? One of them knew something the other didn't. Cruise prices can swing by more than 70% depending on when you book, how you book, and what tricks you use. And tip number 12 on this list, cruise lines secretly want you to use it, but almost no one does. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to unlock hidden savings and cruise like an insider. Cruise vacations are exploding in popularity. Ships are getting bigger, better, and booked faster than ever. Everyone dreams of that perfect vacation where your biggest choice is whether to hit the pool, the spa, or the midnight buffet. But what you don't see in the ads is the invisible pricing game being played behind the scenes. Yes, average fares have dipped in some seasons, but peak sailings can still be shockingly expensive, sometimes 70% higher than just a few weeks earlier or later. Most travelers overpay without even realizing it. You don't have to be one of them, because cruise lines quietly reward those who understand how their system works. Today, you're going to become one of those travelers. Number 15. Focus on new ships and shorter itineraries. You might think brand new cruise ships would cost more. Newer is better, right? More expensive? Actually, it's the complete opposite. When cruise lines launch new ships in 2025, they're desperate to fill them fast to build buzz and generate reviews. This creates a golden opportunity. Take the Sun Princess and Star Princess. Both debuted in 2025, both offering promotional fares running 20% below industry averages. We're talking about state-of-the-art vessels with all the latest amenities, priced like older ships that have been sailing for a decade. But here's where it gets really interesting. Shorter itineraries are experiencing a massive 40% rise in demand. 3 to 5 night Bahamas runs, quick getaways, weekend escapes. These aren't vacation afterthoughts anymore. They're strategic gold mines. Why? Because cruise lines use short trips as loss leaders, bait to get you hooked. Some 2025 Bahamas cruises are starting at $30 per day. $30. You spend more than that on lunch. For $30 a day, you get accommodation, food, entertainment, and you wake up in a different port. The math barely makes sense, but that's exactly the point. Cruise lines know if they get you on board once, even for a quick trip, you're likely to book longer sailings later. They're playing the long game. You should too. Book a short cruise on a new ship, test the waters, and if you love it, you've got 14 more tips coming that'll help you book that dream 2-week voyage for half price. But before we get there, tip 14 is going to challenge everything you think you know about paying for vacations. Number 14. Pay in full for extra discounts. Now I know what you're thinking. Pay everything up front? Sounds risky. Sounds like you're doing the cruise line a favor, not yourself. But stay with me, because the math is about to get really interesting. Many cruise lines, including Celestial Cruises, offer 5% discounts just for paying in full at booking. 5% might not sound earth-shattering, but here's where it gets powerful. That 5% stacks with other deals. Remember wave season promotions we're going to discuss? The ones offering up to 40% off? You can combine them. Book during wave season, pay in full, and suddenly you're looking at total savings approaching 60% on 2025 Mediterranean routes. 60% off a cruise that would normally cost $4,000 per person. That's $2,400 in your pocket instead of theirs. But there's a psychological element here too. When you pay in full up front, you're completely locked in. No last-minute cancellations. No cold feet. The cruise line knows this, which is why they reward it. They're essentially buying certainty, and they're willing to discount your fare to get it. Plus, think about the peace of mind. No payment plans hanging over your head. No surprise final bills before departure. You pay once, you're done. and you saved hundreds or even thousands in the process. The catch? You need to be absolutely certain about your dates and destination. But if you've done your homework, which you're doing right now by watching this, paying in full becomes less of a risk and more of a strategic power move. Speaking of strategic moves, tip 13 is where luxury meets value in ways most people never discover. Number 13. Bundle with all-inclusive perks. Here's a secret about cruise pricing. The advertised fare? That's rarely what you actually pay. You land on the ship and suddenly there are drink packages, specialty dining, gratuities, shore excursions. Before you know it, your bargain cruise costs twice what you expected, unless you bundle everything up front. Azamara Cruises figured this out. Their 2025 Europe itineraries come with a deal that sounds almost fictional. 15% off the base fare, plus a $750 onboard credit, plus drinks and tips included. All inclusive from the moment you step on board. The trend is clear. All-inclusive bookings are up 30% in 2025. Why? Because travelers are tired of surprise costs. They want hassle-free value. They want to know exactly what they're paying before departure. But here's the really clever part. When you bundle, cruise lines often discount the package more than individual items would cost. You're not just getting convenience. You're actually paying less overall. A drink package alone might run $15 per day. Specialty dining? Another $30 to $50 per meal. Tips? $15 per day minimum. Add it up over a week-long cruise, and you're looking at hundreds of dollars in extras. Azamara's model basically says, we'll give you all that, plus we'll discount the base fare, plus we'll throw in spending money. Why would they do this? Because they've calculated that passengers who book all-inclusive packages are more relaxed, have better experiences, leave better reviews, and book again. It's worth discounting to them. For you, it means one simple decision at booking time saves you from dozens of micro-decisions and surprise charges throughout your trip. You board the ship knowing everything is handled. That peace of mind? Priceless. The savings? Very, very real. Now, tip 12 is where things get personal and potentially very lucrative. Number 12. Tap loyalty and military programs. This is the tip I mentioned at the start. The one that's completely legal, widely available, but shockingly underused. Cruise line loyalty programs are giving away money, and most people are leaving it on the table. Princess Cruises offers military benefits worth 20,000 bonus points in 2025. 20,000 points translates to a $200 credit, just for being military, veteran, or military family. No catch, no hidden fees, $200 in your pocket for qualifying. But the loyalty programs go even deeper. Past guests, people who've sailed with a line before, get free upgrades on 50% of sailings. 50%. That means if you've cruised with Princess once, half the time you book again, you could score a better cabin at no extra cost. An interior cabin price, balcony cabin delivered, an ocean view booked, suite given. Here's what makes this so powerful. These programs are designed to create repeat customers. Cruise lines would rather have you sail with them 10 times than lose you to a competitor for a slightly cheaper first-time rate. So they load loyalty programs with perks that increase with each voyage. Your first cruise? You get 10% off your next booking. Your fifth cruise? You might be looking at free cabin upgrades, priority boarding, specialty dining credits, free laundry, even complimentary minibar setups. The benefits compound dramatically, and military discounts stack with other promotions. You can be a returning passenger with military status booking during wave season and paying in full. Stack, stack, stack those discounts until your cruise costs less than a week at a budget hotel. The reason people miss this? They don't ask. They don't check their eligibility. They book as if every cruise is their first. Don't make that mistake. If you've cruised before, leverage it. If you serve or served, leverage it. These programs exist to be used. Tip 11 is about making unconventional choices that save conventional money. Number 11. Choose interior cabins or obscure ports. Let's talk about balconies. They're beautiful, romantic. You can sip coffee watching the sunrise over the ocean, and they'll cost you 30 to 50% more than an interior cabin. 30 to 50% for a view you'll enjoy maybe an hour per day while you're actually in the room. Think about how you actually vacation on a cruise. You're at breakfast, you're at the pool, you're at shows, activities, exploring ports, eating dinner, dancing, socializing. The time you spend in your cabin staring at the balcony, minimal, yet you're paying hundreds or thousands extra for it. Interior cabins are where smart cruisers save big. Same ship, same amenities, same food, same entertainment, just no window. And honestly, it makes the cabin perfect for sleeping. Dark, quiet, cool, no sunlight waking you at dawn when you were up late at the comedy show. 50% savings just for accepting that you'll see the ocean from the deck instead of your room. That's a no-brainer for value-focused travelers. But the port strategy is even more interesting. Everyone wants to depart from Miami. It's convenient, it's famous, it's the cruise capital of the world, and cruise lines charge a premium for it, roughly 20% more than lesser-known ports. What if you sailed from New Orleans instead? Or Quebec? Or Tampa? Suddenly, you're accessing the same destinations, sometimes the same exact ships, but paying significantly less just because you started from a port that doesn't have Miami's branding. The cruise itself is identical once you're at sea, but your bank account is much happier. This is about challenging assumptions. The cruise industry has trained people to want certain things: balconies, popular ports, premium positioning. But do you really need them? Or have you been paying extra for marketing rather than value? Tip 10 introduces a human element that technology can't replace. Number 10. Use a travel agent for insider access. In 2025, with all the booking websites and apps available, you might think travel agents are outdated, relics of a previous era. Why pay someone to do what you can do yourself online, right? Wrong. Very wrong. Travel agents, specifically those specializing in cruises through networks like cruises.com, have access to deals that never appear on public websites. Unadvertised promotions. Past guest upgrades available to new bookers if routed through agent networks. Industry connections that unlock perks you can't Google your way into. Recent reviews show 15 to 25% savings on luxury lines like Seabourn when booking through experienced agents versus booking direct. 15 to 25%. That's enough to upgrade your entire cabin category or add several days to your trip. But here's what's really valuable: knowledge. An experienced cruise agent has sailed multiple lines. They know which ships have been recently renovated, which itineraries have the best port times, which cabins to avoid because they're near noisy areas, which deals are genuinely good versus marketing gimmicks. That expertise is worth far more than any fee. And in many cases, travel agents don't even cost you extra. They're paid through commissions by the cruise lines. You get expert guidance, insider deals, and personalized service at the same price or even less than booking yourself online. The cruise line pays them, not you. There's also a concierge element. Something goes wrong? Flight delayed? Need to change your booking? Your travel agent handles it. No sitting on hold for 3 hours with cruise line customer service. No navigating confusing websites. One phone call, problem solved. The best agents also follow up with you. They'll alert you if prices drop after you book so you can request price adjustments. They'll remind you about document requirements. They'll suggest excursions and dining reservations. It's like having a cruise expert on retainer who actually wants you to have an amazing trip. But maybe you're thinking, I want to travel with people. Or maybe you prefer going solo. Either way, tip 9 has you covered. Number 9. Travel as a group or solo with perks. Cruising has historically punished solo travelers with single supplements. Want to sail alone? Pay for 2 people. It's been one of the industry's most frustrating policies. But 2025 changed the game. Virgin Voyages is leading a revolution. Their solo cabin waivers eliminate the single supplement on designated cabins. You pay for one person, you get one cabin. Revolutionary concept, right? But it saves solo travelers $1,000 or more on typical voyages. Even better for couples and groups? Virgin's 70% off second sailor promotion. Think about that math. First passenger pays full price. Second passenger pays 30% of the price. On a 7-night Caribbean cruise where the first passenger pays $2,000, the second pays just $600. Total cost? $2,600 for 2 people. That's $1,300 per person. A 70% discount just cut your per-person cost nearly in half. Groups get even more aggressive perks. Book multiple cabins together and cruise lines roll out VIP treatment. Reduced rates across all rooms. Priority boarding. Sometimes even a free cabin if you book enough rooms. Group coordinators get planning assistance, making it easier to organize family reunions or friend getaways. The psychology is simple. Cruise lines love groups because they fill multiple cabins with one booking, reducing marketing costs. They love solo travelers who don't need supplements because those cabins would otherwise sit empty or be discounted anyway. So they're incentivizing both scenarios heavily in 2025. If you've been waiting to cruise because you're single and didn't want to pay double, this is your year. If you've got a big family or friend group, coordinate together and watch the per-person prices plummet. And speaking of insider knowledge, tip 8 is about letting the deals come to you. But hold on. Before we continue, I'm curious. How many of these tips did you already know? Have you ever scored an incredible cruise deal, or did you overpay on your last vacation? Drop a comment below with your best cruise deal or worst overpayment story. Let's learn from each other. And if you're finding this valuable, make sure you're subscribed, because we're about to reveal the top 8 tips that separate vacation amateurs from true cruise deal masters. Number 8. Sign up for email alerts from cruise lines. Your inbox is probably already flooded, I get it. But here's the thing. Cruise line emails contain exclusive codes that never appear anywhere else. Royal Caribbean and Virgin Voyages send subscribers-only deals worth $250 in onboard credits, or resident discounts. Florida locals, for example, save 10 to 15% on 2025 bookings just for living in state. These aren't generic promotions everyone gets. They're targeted. If you've browsed certain itineraries, you'll get deals on those routes. If you abandoned a booking, you might get a follow-up discount to close the sale. The algorithms are sophisticated, but you need to be strategic. Create a dedicated email address just for travel deals if you don't want your main inbox cluttered. Set filters so cruise promotions go to a specific folder you check weekly. Because these flash sales, they disappear fast, sometimes in hours. By the time a deal gets shared on social media or travel blogs, it's often already sold out. The early bird genuinely gets the worm here. Subscribers see deals first, they book first, they save most. It costs you nothing except a few seconds to sign up, and the potential return is hundreds of dollars per cruise. That's an outstanding investment of time. Number 7. Compare aggregators like Cruise Critic and Cruises.com. Booking directly with a cruise line seems logical. You're cutting out the middleman, so you should get the best price, right? Not even close. Aggregator websites scan 40-plus cruise lines simultaneously, comparing real-time deals across thousands of sailings. They have deal score ratings that factor in onboard credits, drink packages, and other perks that cruise line websites downplay. Users consistently report 20% better rates booking through aggregators versus direct. 20%. On a $5,000 cruise, that's $1,000 saved just by using a comparison site. But it goes deeper than price. These platforms aggregate reviews, cabin layouts, deck plans, and detailed itinerary information all in one place. Instead of visiting 20 different cruise line websites, you research everything on one platform. Time saved, better informed decisions, lower prices. Cruise Critic specifically has forums where veterans share real-time updates about which deals are actually good versus which ones are marketing hype. It's like having thousands of experienced cruisers all helping you make smart choices. The cruise lines know aggregators drive bookings, so they often release special inventory and prices to these platforms that aren't available direct. It's counterintuitive, but true. The middleman often has better deals than going straight to the source. Spend an hour on Cruise Critic or Cruises.com before booking anywhere else. Compare the same sailing across platforms. You'll be shocked at the price variations. Number 6. Book 6 to 12 months in advance. Timing is everything in the cruise world. Too early, and you're paying initial pricing. Too late, and everything is either sold out or marked up. The sweet spot? 6 to 12 months out. Expedia's data confirms this window balances availability with pricing power. Book in this range and you're accessing early bird promotions without paying the premium for being first. Carnival gives free upgrades to travelers booking in this window. Not occasional upgrades, systematic ones designed to reward advanced planners. And here's the kicker. If you wait until last minute hoping for flash sales, you might save money, but you risk losing your preferred dates, cabin categories, and even entire sailings. Plus, flights get expensive. Hotels for pre-cruise nights cost more. The cruise fare might drop, but everything around it gets pricier. Booking 6 to 12 months out also protects you from post-booking price hikes. Cruise lines increase fares as ships fill up. Early bookers lock in lower rates, then watch prices climb 15% or more as departure approaches. That 15% increase you avoided? That's money saved just by planning ahead. The psychological benefit is real too. Your cruise is booked, locked in. You spend months excited instead of months stressing about whether to book. Anticipation is part of the vacation experience. Maximize it. Number 5. Leverage kids' sail-free promotions. Family vacations are expensive, painfully expensive. Multiply everything by 4 or 5 and suddenly that dream vacation feels impossible. Unless you know about third and fourth guest promotions. MSC and Disney Cruise Lines are running 2025 family deals that seem almost too generous. Third and fourth guests sail free on select Caribbean routes. Free. Not discounted. Free. For a family of 4, that's saving $500 or more per child. Suddenly, your family cruise costs the same as just the 2 adults would have paid. Multi-generational trips, which are up 25% year over year, benefit even more. Grandparents, parents, and kids all cruising together. The per-person cost plummets when half the group sails free. But here's what makes this brilliant for families. Cruises are arguably the best value in family vacations anyway. Kids eat free. Entertainment is included. Childcare and kids clubs are usually complimentary. Parents get breaks while kids have supervised fun. Everyone's needs are met without a dozen separate transactions. When you add kids' sail-free promotions on top of that baseline value, you're looking at vacations that cost less than staying home. Less than a week of groceries, entertainment, and activities locally, and your kids wake up in the Bahamas, or Alaska, or the Mediterranean. The family memory value is immeasurable. But the actual dollar value? Very measurable. And very, very favorable when you target these promotions correctly. Number 4. Opt for repositioning cruises. This is where cruise deal hunting gets really interesting. Twice a year, cruise ships need to move between seasonal markets. Alaska ships relocate to the Caribbean for winter. European ships head to South America. These repositioning cruises are one-way voyages on routes the ships have to sail anyway, empty or not. Cruise lines discount these sailings by 20 to 30% because they're not traditional vacation routes. Longer sea days, fewer ports. But if you love being on the ship, reading, relaxing, enjoying onboard amenities without constant port stops, repositioning cruises are paradise. Royal Caribbean's 2025 transatlantic deals start at $600 per person for 14 nights. $600. That's $43 per night, including accommodation, all meals, entertainment, and you cross an ocean. Hotels alone would cost triple that. The clientele on Repositioning Cruises tends to be experienced travelers who value the journey over just the destinations. Conversations are richer, the vibe is more relaxed, less frenetic port hopping, more actual cruising. But here's a practical consideration. Repositioning cruises are usually longer, 10 to 20 days. You need the time off work, and flights can be complicated. You might fly into Barcelona and fly home from Fort Lauderdale. That adds logistical complexity. However, for retirees or remote workers with flexibility, Repositioning Cruises offer unbeatable value. You're essentially being paid to travel slowly, enjoying every amenity of a luxury ship, while everyone else rushes through 7 ports in 7 days. It's a different cruise philosophy, slower, more immersive, and significantly cheaper. Number 3. Hunt last-minute deals 90 days out. Remember earlier when we talked about booking 6 to 12 months ahead? This is the opposite strategy, and both work. It just depends on your flexibility and risk tolerance. 90 days before departure, cruise lines panic. Any unsold cabins represent complete loss. They can't inventory them for later. They can't recoup that revenue. So they trigger flash sales. Deep, desperate discounts to fill every possible room. VacationsTogo.com reports that 75% of 2025 last-minute deals come in under $50 per day. $50 per day for a cruise. That's hotel prices for an all-inclusive floating resort. Virgin Voyages recently dropped $99 per night promotions that sold out within days. Europe routes, Bahamas getaways, premium ships at hostel prices. But you have to be ready to move instantly. The catch is significant. Limited cabin choices. Maybe no cabins in your preferred category. Your ideal dates might not have deals. You need flexible vacation time. And flights booked last minute cost more, potentially erasing your cruise savings. But if you're retired or have very flexible scheduling, last-minute hunting is a legitimate strategy. Some cruisers never book in advance. They watch weekly deals, pounce when something great appears, and cruise multiple times per year for less than others pay for one voyage. Set alerts. Check aggregator websites every Tuesday and Thursday when new deals typically drop. Be ready to book immediately, and accept that you're trading certainty for savings. Sometimes massive savings. Number 2. Target shoulder seasons for 70% savings. This is perhaps the most powerful single strategy on this entire list. The difference between peak and shoulder season pricing is genuinely mind-blowing. We're not talking 10 or 15%. We're talking 70%. 70. NerdWallet's 2025 analysis compared July Caribbean cruises to October sailings. Same ships, same routes, same cabin categories. July balcony cabins cost 70% more than October. Same vacation. Literally everything identical except the dates. But one costs nearly triple the other. Why? Peak season hits when everyone wants to travel. Summer when kids are out of school. Holidays. Spring break. Demand explodes, prices follow. Shoulder seasons like May, October, and November still have great weather but avoid the crowd rush. October in the Caribbean actually has advantages beyond price. Hurricane season is winding down. Weather is still beautiful. Fewer families means quieter ships and less crowded ports. You get a better experience and pay a fraction of the cost. Alaska in May or September versus July. Same incredible scenery, same whale watching and glacier viewing. But significantly fewer cruise ships in port, meaning more personalized excursions and less tourist congestion. You see more wildlife because there's less noise and activity scaring them away. The shoulder season strategy requires one thing: flexibility with timing. If you must cruise in July because that's when you have vacation time, these savings aren't accessible. But if you control your schedule or can negotiate time off during off-peak periods, this single change can save more than every other tip combined. 70% savings. That's not a deal. That's a completely different pricing structure. It's the difference between cruise vacations being an annual luxury versus a quarterly habit. And now, the number one tip. The strategy that unlocks everything else. The secret we've been building toward this entire time. Number 1. Book during wave season, January through March. Wave season is the cruise industry's Black Friday. Every major cruise line floods the market with their most aggressive promotions of the entire year. Up to 40% off base fares. Free drink packages worth hundreds of dollars. Onboard credits. Specialty dining. Gratuities included. Cabin upgrades. The perks pile up until you're essentially getting a luxury cruise at economy prices. In 2025, wave season extensions into April added even more opportunities. Princess Cruises is offering $300 onboard credits on select sailings. $300 of free spending money just for booking during this window. But here's why wave season is the number one tip instead of just another good promotion. Wave season deals offer the widest availability. You get first pick of cabins, itineraries, and dates. You're booking early enough to secure exactly what you want while still accessing maximum discounts. It's the perfect combination of selection and savings. Every other tip on this list becomes more powerful when combined with wave season booking. Want to pay in full for extra discount? Do it during wave season and stack the savings. Using a travel agent for insider deals? Wave season gives them the most inventory to work with. Planning a family trip with kids sail free? Wave season has the most availability for those promotions. Wave season is the foundation. Everything else builds on it. Book during wave season, then layer other strategies on top, and you're looking at total savings that can exceed 60% of standard pricing. Think about what that means practically. A cruise that would normally cost $5,000 for 2 people? Wave season brings it to $3,000. Add paying in full, shoulder season timing, and an interior cabin choice, and you're potentially down to $2,000 or less. Same cruise, same ship, same experience, but less than half the price. The cruise lines profit from wave season too. They fill ships early in the year, giving them revenue predictability and reducing marketing costs later. It's mutually beneficial, which is why the promotions are so aggressive. They want your business in January through April because it makes their entire year easier. Mark your calendar right now, January 1st through end of March, with extensions into April. Set reminders. Research itineraries in December so you're ready to book the moment wave season launches. This is your annual window to maximize cruise value. If you've made it this far, you're now part of an exclusive group. You know what 90% of cruise passengers never learn. You're armed with strategies that can save thousands of dollars per cruise. But I want to know you made it to the end. Here's your mission. Type "smooth sailing" in the comments. That's your secret phrase. It tells me you watched the entire video, learned all 15 tips, and you're ready to book smarter. It also helps this video reach more people who need to know these secrets. Type "smooth sailing" right now, and let's build a community of savvy cruise travelers who refuse to overpay. Let's bring this full circle. Remember that person at the beginning who booked the same cruise as someone else but paid $600 per night while the other paid $99? That doesn't have to be you. Ever again. You now have the knowledge to be the $99 person every single time. These aren't theoretical tips. They're working right now in 2025 for thousands of travelers. Virgin Voyages, MSC, Princess, Royal Caribbean, Azamara. They're all offering deals that seemed impossible a few years ago. Over 300 new itineraries. Sustainable routes, eco-friendly ships, family promotions, solo traveler perks. The industry is practically begging you to cruise, and they're discounting aggressively to make it happen. The question is, will you use this information? Or will you let it sit in your memory while you book your next cruise the same way you've always done it, potentially overpaying by thousands? Start with wave season. Mark those dates. January through March, extended into April in 2025. Research during December. Book during wave season. Then layer in shoulder season timing if possible. Use aggregator websites to compare deals. Sign up for email alerts. Consider repositioning cruises or shorter itineraries on new ships. Bring the family and use kids' sail-free promotions. Or travel solo and skip the single supplement. Use a travel agent for insider access. Choose interior cabins and non-traditional ports. Pay in full for extra discount. Bundle all-inclusive perks. Leverage loyalty and military programs. Hunt last minute if you're flexible. Each strategy compounds with the others. You're not choosing one tip. You're combining them into a comprehensive approach that transforms cruise pricing from mysterious and expensive to transparent and affordable. The cruise of your dreams.